Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins, and today's story is going to grab your attention like never before because we are going to explore the journey of a very special coin, the 1988 1-cent coin, a piece that on the surface looks just like any other penny you might find rattling around in your pocket change. Yet because of a series of unusual errors and minting mistakes it has become an object of obsession for collectors and enthusiasts across the globe. And even though its face value is only a single cent, certain variations of this coin have been valued at as much as $6, which might not sound like a fortune compared to some multimillion-dollar error coins but is still a remarkable leap in value when you consider that it's a coin designed to be the smallest unit of American currency. And what makes it so fascinating is not just the price but the story behind why it can command that price, the details of the minting process, the nature of the mistakes, and the possibilities of finding one of these coins yourself. So stay tuned as we unfold this incredible narrative and take you through a world where tiny differences make a huge impact and transform ordinary copper-plated zinc discs into collectible treasures. And the first thing we have to understand is the historical context of the 1988 cent, because in that year the US Mint was transitioning through several design and production challenges. The Lincoln Memorial reverse design was still in place, and the obverse had Lincoln's iconic portrait. Yet in 1988 subtle changes to the dies, hubs, and minting equipment opened the door to varieties and errors that would later become points of interest for collectors, and one of the most famous issues connected to the 1988 penny is the so-called 1988 double die, where the doubling effect on certain details of the coin such as the date, mint mark, or lettering created a visual anomaly noticeable under magnification, and while minor doubling is often dismissed, strong doubling makes a coin stand out and raises its desirability. Another area of intrigue is the transitional reverse variety, because some 1988 cents were struck using reverse dies intended for 1989, which led to subtle differences in design elements like the FG initials of designer Frank Gasparo appearing in a style not meant for 1988, and this seemingly small mix-up made a subset of 1988 coins instantly more desirable. And then we also have off-center strikes where the coin is not properly aligned when struck by the press, resulting in part of the design missing and a crescent of blank planchet visible, and while a severely off-center coin may not show the date and thus be less collectible, those that retain the full date alongside a dramatic misalignment are highly sought after, adding another layer to why the 1988 cent can be worth more than face value. And yet another category of error includes broad strikes where the coin is struck outside of the retaining collar and spreads wider than normal, giving it a distinct and unusual appearance, and collectors love these because they clearly showcase the minting error. And then there are clipped planchet errors where a section of the coin is missing due to a blank being punched out of sheet metal that overlaps with a previously punched area, resulting in coins that look as though a bite was taken out of them. And these 1988 clipped planchet cents are quirky and collectible too. And when we look at the economics of coin collecting, it's not just about rarity but also about demand and the narrative attached to the coin, and the 1988 cent has both because it belongs to a transitional period in minting and has varieties that are well documented and catalogued, making it an exciting target for collectors who love to chase down varieties, compare small differences, and piece together sets that tell the story of how the mint operated at the time. And if we think about why a coin that is only worth a cent could be valued at $6, the answer lies in scarcity combined with interest, because if there are only a limited number of 1988 transitional reverse cents known and if more collectors seek them than the supply allows, the price naturally goes up. And $6 is just an average benchmark because certain pristine examples graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC in mint state condition can go for much higher, especially if the error or variety is dramatic, bold, and visually clear. And another layer to this is the thrill of discovery, because people love the idea that they could stumble across one of these valuable cents in their pocket change or in an old coin jar at home, and that possibility fuels interest and keeps the demand for knowledge about these coins alive. And when we consider the production process, every step is an opportunity for an error to occur, from the creation of the master hub to the preparation of working dies, to the striking of blanks into coins. And the more complex and high-speed the machinery gets, the more room there is for small mistakes that slip through. And while the mint has quality control measures, it is inevitable that a few oddities reach circulation, and those oddities are what collectors cherish. And among the 1988 cents, The Denver Mint issues with a D mint mark and the Philadelphia issues without a mint mark can both harbor errors, but the transitional reverse variety is especially noted among Philadelphia strikes, which means anyone who comes across a 1988 cent without a mint mark should take a closer look at the reverse design to see if it matches the 1989 style, and if it does, then they might be holding one of the most collectible varieties of that year. And although $6 may seem modest compared to astronomical figures attached to coins like the 1943 copper cent or the 1955 double die, the lesson here is that value is relative, and for a coin designed to be the lowest denomination, multiplying its worth by 600 times is still a remarkable feat, and beyond the dollars and cents, these coins represent history, craftsmanship, and the fascinating interplay of human error and mechanical precision, and so the 1988 cent serves as a perfect example of how even small mistakes can open the door to big stories. And for collectors, it's not just about money but about the hunt, the excitement of discovery, the satisfaction of owning a piece of numismatic history, and the joy of sharing that story with others, which is why communities and forums are filled with images, discussions, and analyses of coins like the 1988 cent, with enthusiasts debating the strength of doubling, the crispness of mint marks, and the alignment of design features, and it's this ongoing conversation that keeps the coin alive in the collective imagination. So when you hear about a 1988 cent being worth $6, understand that it's not just about the raw price but about what that price represents in terms of scarcity, demand, and storytelling, and the possibilities extend further because who knows if a particularly dramatic era 1988 cent could one day sell for more at auction, since prices are not fixed but driven by collector enthusiasm. And history has shown that coins once considered minor varieties can later skyrocket in value as interest grows, so maybe that $6 coin today could be a much bigger deal tomorrow. And that's why it's worth paying attention, checking your change, and appreciating the tiny wonders that hide in plain sight, because the world of coins teaches us that details matter, mistakes can be valuable, and treasures can be found where we least expect them. And as you continue exploring this hobby, you'll see how the 1988 cent stands alongside many other coins that became legendary not because they were meant to be special but because accidents, transitions, and quirks made them unique. And that uniqueness is what makes them collectible, and so when we wrap up our look at the 1988 cent valued at $6, remember that it's not the face value that matters but the story behind the coin, the errors that shaped it, the collectors who cherish it, and the possibilities that still lie out there in the world of pocket change waiting to be discovered.